And in tonight's Technology Insider, the future of Yahoo. For years, the search engine company has been struggling to turn itself around. They hired a top executive away from Google, recruited pillars of the journalism community, and rolled out a series of new services. Now the company is said to be weighing a sale of some of its core internet businesses. For more on that, I'm joined by Brian Fung, technology reporter for The Washington Post. Happy holidays to you, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right, let's talk about Marissa Mayer. Hired in July of 2012, a lot of fanfare, a lot of expectation that she could turn things in the right direction for Yahoo. Did that happen?
Well, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Yahoo snapped up a number of media companies, such as the microblogging site Tumblr, but that hasn't really been enough to really turn the company around. Investors are a little bit skittish about Yahoo's growth over the years, and it looks as though it's experienced weaker than expected growth, even though Marissa Mayer came from a highly respected company, Facebook, and so we're now talking about a potential sale of those some of those assets.
Okay, well, let's talk specifics from Wall Street about where the stock is right now. Shares have tumbled about 30% this year. And as you said, the company is now said to be weighing the sale of some of those core business interests. What exactly does that mean?
Well, one of these sort of big questions here is what exactly is Yahoo and who would be interested in buying? And to answer that question, you really have to break Yahoo into its sort of component parts. And obviously you've got the search engine there that was sort of the core of Yahoo's business from the very beginning. But then you've also got media companies like Tumblr. You've got advertising businesses that are part of Yahoo. Yahoo has a lot of news media content. It employs Katie Couric and David Pogue, among others.
Is that the problem with Yahoo, that it's just too much and nobody really knows what it is?
Well, I think that might be more of a name recognition problem for many ordinary consumers. But you also have a lot of people who go to Yahoo for things like fantasy sports and other features that are really what Yahoo's all about now. If you look at the number of eyeballs that it draws on a monthly basis, it's pretty competitive with folks like Google even.
All right, can I quote you?
Sure, go ahead.
Quote you? All right, you wrote this. There's one metric that makes Yahoo really attractive: the number of eyeballs it commands on a daily basis. That does make sense. Who's interested in adding that kind of power to their portfolio?
Well, some folks have speculated that folks like Microsoft or Comcast could be interested. But if you look at the way that Yahoo is basically structured, certain industries make more sense as potential buyers than others. So, for instance, when you look at Microsoft, its Bing search engine is actually commands a bigger market share than Yahoo's own search engine. So, would it really make sense to have a tie-up there? Maybe, Microsoft could get closer to Google's market share in terms of search, but really wouldn't put it within striking distance there. But if you turn to, the industry like telecom or cable, where companies like NBC have joined up with companies like Comcast or Verizon and AOL have sort of joined up together, you're starting to see a pattern of network companies buying up content firms as a way to turn their networks into much more valuable, lucrative platforms.
You just dropped the name Verizon. Verizon, some rumblings that they might be interested. You think it
That's
could happen?
Right. Yeah, well, earlier today, Verizon CFO Fran Shamo said that it's a little early to be talking about a potential deal, but if Yahoo winds up quote unquote looking right, Verizon may be interested in buying. This sort of represents the first official hint among a number of companies that have been rumored to be interested in Yahoo actually going on the record saying that this is a thing they might be interested in. It's still, as Verizon said, it's still early.
Okay, so as you're saying, it's not a matter of if, but when it happens. We don't know who the breakup will go to, but when it does happen, in your estimation, what happens to Marissa Mayer?
Well, the severance package for Marissa Mayer could reach as high as 110 or even 150 $1 million.
So we won't worry about her.
I think she'll be just fine.
What about Yahoo?
If the reports are right. Well, there's a big question as to what after this potential sale, what will be left of Yahoo and who will be benefiting from it. Obviously, its stake in Alibaba, the Chinese company, is fairly significant, and it's a big question as to what happens to that and what its true value is.
Brian, always a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.